What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Bundesliga career mode. It is episode number 12. We are returned today on the back of our 5th place finish in the Bundesliga last season, qualifying for Europe for the first time in the save and returning in our 3rd year at the Rhine Energy Stadium with a budget of, here we go, 41 mil. That's about what I was expecting. First time we qualify for a European competition, going into the Europa League, so bypassing the Conference League. And yeah, 40 mil I'd say is about realistic. With wage budget considerations, it's around 35, 36. Yeah, that to me is a realistic and fair budget. I'm happy with that. Before we jump into the new season, I didn't realise this, but Bakatikander and Deal were on 1-year loans. I thought they were on 2-year loans, so they're back for the new season. And you got to advance one day in the calendar as well, because I don't know why this happens. Like, some moves go through on the first, and some moves go through on the second. I really don't understand it, so it's very strange. We've got those players back from loan, but we've now seen a few players leave permanently as well. Oh my goodness, I was going to say, that's going to leave our squad incredibly thin. It is indeed. I said this year the biggest concern is going to be depth going into European football. Yeah, I'm telling you now, we ain't winning nothing or going very far in the Europa League with a squad this thin. We need to put some weight on, man. This squad is far too thin. Yeah, you'll see, obviously, Captain Florian Kainz left to join Mönchengladbach. We sold Bakarada to Bournemouth. We got, I think, 2 million for that. And obviously a few players again left on loan as well. Keep our eyes on those. Yeah, did we sell Bakarada or was that a free? Oh no, we must have sold him. I couldn't remember if we sold him or we sold for 2.35 mil. So it raises the budget only by a very small amount, but even so. So those are the two departures there permanently. Yeah, this squad is incredibly thin, man. I mean, if we do want to go far in Europe this season, what are the objectives, real briefly? I'm very interested to see what the board say for Europa League. For domestic, oh wow. Finishing the top 4, I thought top 6 again, the board would say, but no, they said this year top 4. We only narrowly missed out on it last season on the final day, and we're already in it. What do you mean reach the group stage? You're already in it. You might as well put a tick on it now. We've already done it. I can just imagine having like a meeting with the board, and I'm like, what do you want me to do in the Europa League this year? Doxy, mate, first year in Europe, if you can reach the group stage, that would be fantastic. And I'm just sitting there, like, side-eye to my assistant manager, fingers and lips, don't tell him. Don't tell him, as DJ still has the potential special. Don't tell him. He probably thinks we've got to play qualifiers or something. Don't tell him we've already done it. We're counting that as a success right from the very get-go. So, yeah, looking at the team heading into the new season, okay, so there's going to be 2 players that we're going to have to give new contracts to. Eric Martel and also Jan Thielmann. You might have missed it right at the end of last season. We did give a new contract to Limperle. Max still has potential to be special, fantastic. But yeah, Christensen, I'm going to let go. I'm going to put him on the transfer list, and I'm definitely going to sell him in the summer. But as for Thielmann and Martel, of course, 2 really important pieces here. They are both going to get contract extensions. For Damien Downs, I'm not too sure about him. So we look at the 6 players, the deals are coming at the end of the year here. There's a couple of players I'm not sure about, you know. I mean, Jan Thielmann for sure. I'll definitely give him a new contract, and same with Eric Martel as well. Martel's now taking the armband since obviously we now have Kainz leaving to Mönchengladbach permanently too. But Tigges can go. As for Bakatikander and Downs, they're 2 young players. They're pretty decent, but I'm not sure about their long-term future. You know, I might just possibly keep them for the year. They can't be poached on free transfers, and see how I feel coming the end of their contracts. So advancing a few days in the calendar, just got a bid for Limperle, who no, we gave the new contract to last season, but oh my goodness gracious me, you know how badly I want this guy, man. It's bloody Udinese again, isn't it? It's Udinese that have done it once again. They did this last year with Ozcan. I was happily going to wait another year before bringing him in. And then Udinese put a bid and I was like, oh, I've got to get him now. Leandro, I've wanted this guy since the very first day I arrived here. The Luxembourg International. Udinese have done it again. Like, they're literally the great fake-out team, you know? Making me put in the bid. Oh, I didn't want to just spend all my money on one player, though. I'm going to hope that bid gets rejected, because otherwise I'm never going to get him. Can't believe that. Really can't. Wanted him so badly. But we the thing is, we got to do this strategically. I mean, at the end of the day, I can't spend all of my money, or basically all of my money, on one player. We've got a thin squad, and we need to add to it. All over in terms of depth, really. Fine. Maybe next year, but not this year. Thing is though, like, it just adds to the challenge of playing with a small budget. Oh, I'm gonna get Ulrich on a free. I wondered if he still had a bit of quality as a backup. We only got the one goalkeeper now, so as a backup, you know, I love those veterans. I'm bringing him in. He'll be my first signing of the season. It's not quite the Luxembourg star midfielder I really wanted, a 36-year-old backup goalkeeper. But hey, listen, we're going to Europe for the first time. We need a veteran that's got European experience and winners experience. Then Ulrich definitely does. He's going to be my first signing of the season. It's not quite what I wanted, but I'll take it to begin with. He's done it again, look. He's done it again. You little... Clip always makes me laugh. Anyway, first signing of the season, back up. To be fair, this is what we need, man. You know, senior leader for the team, tons of winners' medals, but mainly as a backup goalkeeper, if not always a backup goalkeeper for Bayern Munich. Sitting on the bench, playing understudy for... Mr. Manuel Neuer. Sven Ulreich coming in, and again, 2-year deal just to sit on the bench. But this is fine. This is fine. Totally fine. He's not going to start in this team. Obviously not. He's just here. Certainly not with 45 kicking. Just here as a senior, a leader, and a guy that's done it all in German football off the bench. Yeah, this is fine for me. Totally fine for me as a backup. I missed out on Jakob Moder as well. He was released by Brighton. He's gone to Fiorentina on a free. Goodness gracious. Tough start to the season, but you know what? I like the challenge, man. I like the challenge. So there is a player that was relegated last year with, or is he? Just lost him. There he is. With Hamburg last year, and he's out of contract coming the end of the season. Ludwig Reis. I like to sign those players in the final year of their contracts when I'm working with a small budget to get them under the valuation, and players that are relegated as well for the realism. Ludwig Reis. Hamburg might have gone down, but this guy isn't the reason why. 86 stamina, nice technical stats as well, and a really solid player who I think could play all through the spine of the team. I'm going to bring him in for undervaluation. Yeah, tough start to the season, but I like this, man. I do. It's a good challenge, you know, when you're working with a limited budget. I'm going to say to Hamburg, let's go 11 million. He's out of contract coming the end of the season. He wants to return to Bundesliga football, and they say no 13.1 mil. I think I actually offered 10 million to begin with. Could have got him even cheaper. But if that's going to be the case and they're not going to straight walk out, I can go even cheaper than that. 10.25 mil, that's less than I thought I'd have to pay by a couple mil. 10.25 mil, that is a steal for a solid technical player. Yeah, don't know anything about this guy, so do let me know if you're a Hamburg fan, German football watcher, what he's like. But just looked him up, Dutch youth international playing for Hamburg that could also possibly represent Slovakia on the international stage. And you know my thoughts on this. If you got a chance to be an icon for a national team outside of the one that's perceived to be better, I always say make the switch and become a hero for that nation instead. But he looks pretty solid, to be fair, coming in from Hamburg for 10.25 mil on a 5-year deal. Welcome to the Rhine Energy Stadion. Ludwig Reis, yep, 25 years old, 78 rated, and should get a little bit better as well. I want to get the defensive stats up and that strength as well. Could possibly play as a DLP in this team. To me, initially, he looks better further forward as possibly a CAM. But for now, we're going to try and get that defensive work rate up from medium to high and possibly convert him to DLP alongside Eric Martel. So, yep, happy with that. Pretty decent signing, I'd say, for 10.25 mil. Undervaluation. It's not Leandro, but it's not a bad second choice. And in that vein of looking for players that are good value for money deals, well, we had Waldschmidt for half a year in season 1 on loan, if you remember. We never played him, so I don't know if I'm going to bring him back, but there's a couple of players here that would be really smart moves for us. Jamie Llewellyn, again, from a relegated Hamburg side. I'd really like him here. Just don't know how much he's going to cost. To be fair, I have used him before. Johnny Burkhardt at FSV Mainz, we finished clear of last season. They were right down the bottom of the table, if I remember correctly. Or were they mid-table? Can't remember now. But still, finished bottom regardless. But also Kevin Schade. Now, I forgot to show this in the season finale in the last episode. Apologies for this. I forgot to show you the Championship League table. But Brentford, they were a Championship side last year. They were relegated in season 1. They are now back in the Premier League. But Brentford right now at the G-Tech, he doesn't seem to be valued that highly, but he would be a brilliant fit for us. Off the bench, absolutely rapid, can play direct through the middle and on the wing as well. And we can get him for closer market valuation, I'd say. I'm going to bring him back to the Bundesliga. Yeah, it doesn't seem as though Thomas Franke values him very highly. He stayed there in the Championship last season, fired the Bees back to the Premier League. But it seems as though Thomas Franke is totally fine letting him go for a round valuation. We don't even need to spend $1 million over. I'm going to hardball Thomas Frank here and say 10 mil and not a penny more. Valuation for Kevin Schade. He might have fired him back to the Premier League, but Thomas Frank doesn't want him in the top tier. He's coming back to the Bundesliga instead. A 5-year deal on 35 grand a week as Kevin Schade takes a minor pay cut to return to his native Germany, but not return to Freiburg, but instead join now Europa League side FC Köln. And whilst he took the number 9 originally, the number he was at the G-Tech, I don't see him as a striker in this team. I see him as a winger. So I took it off him. I said, no, wear number 11 instead. That one's vacant. And hopefully he'll ball out for us on the flanks. Welcome to the Rhine Energy Stadion. Kevin Schade. Yeah, really, really solid young talent. Only 23 years old. And again, he's absolutely rapid. You look at his stats here. 71 strength, 73 attack positioning, 71 heading. Yeah, he can be a striker. He can lead our line. But I don't see him as a successor for Davy Selker. I see him more as a successor for Linton Minor on the wing instead. So we'll get the defensive work rate up to high. We'll then try and improve the skill moves as well. But to me, this guy looks like a really solid right or left winger coming in. Primarily in the first season off the bench, but from season 2 onwards, probably as a starter. So our budget now down to 17.5 mils. 2 bids come in here for our left backs. Think Graphic from Bologna and Jacobs wanted by Frankfurt, turning them both down, of course. So we're now going to go to the first of the month. Again, very, very little money remaining right now, but we still want to... Oh, wow. Didn't know he had a bid there. Lennon Maloney, Atalanta, 6.6 mil. Now, that's not a bad sale, considering we can probably get a little bit more than that for a player who's now become 4th to centre-half. I'll think about that. But a real quick look at the academy. And now we are on the first month. We're going to send our youth scouts out to. The best 2 right now remain the top 2 in the academy. Laporte, the French winger, and also that goalkeeper, Joran Schmidt, as well. I might actually... give them both pro deals and loan them out. Because they're going to ask for pro deals at some points. That's probably a good strategy there. I don't want to get caught out like I was last season in January. I'm going to give them both pro deals, check their potentials, and then try and loan them straight out as well. So Joran Schmidt, another great young goalkeeper from Köln, is an exciting prospect. Lovely stuff. And as for Laporte, I believe it will be the same. Nope, just showing great potential, but we'll add him to the loan list regardless. And as for the youth scouts this season, well, as always, we keep one in the nation we're currently playing in. That is, of course, Germany. Got a couple of great goalkeepers last year, but we don't need any more. So we're going to go back to specifying any type of player in any position, because that's how I get my best results. So 9 months in Germany for 1 scout. Where should we send this Moldovan scout, I wonder? You know, I actually don't mind the idea of sending him to when I can find Moldova on the map. I don't think I've ever scouted Moldova before, you know? I don't think I've ever done that. I don't mind that. It's not the closest nation to us, and of course we have been spreading out quite evenly. I don't mind. I'm going to say to Kalin Blarinka, go back to your home country for 9 months, mate. You found some great players already. Now try and find some players in your home nation. I don't think I've ever scouted Moldova before. Yeah, I think that's the first time I've ever scouted Moldova, so that'll be quite interesting. And as for our final scout, we've done Belgium, France, Germany, the Netherlands, France, and now we're doing Moldova. Wait, have we done the Netherlands? No, I don't think we have, actually. We might. I can't remember now. Do some more East Europe scouts. We've already got 1 in East Europe. I might as well leave that nation be for now. Wouldn't mind going into a different continent for the first time, actually. That wouldn't be a bad idea. To be fair, if we're doing the nations that the scouts are from, I mean, Rajan's saying, Gaffer, if you've let the other man go back to his home country, why won't you let me go back to mine? Have I scouted India before? I don't know. Maybe not. I'm not too sure. But do you know what? Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to scout India and Moldova. And I'm going to say to my 2 scouts, Rajan and Kalin, you've done brilliantly in the first 2 years. Our academy is bustling with talent. Now go back to your home country for the next year and see what you can find. That's 2 very interesting nations I don't think I've ever scouted before. Next, Jackie Chan Singh, Moldovan Wonder Kid. I guess we'll see. As for that Lennon Maloney deal, I'm going to negotiate with Atalanta because, to be fair, I don't think he's going to get any better now. 76 overall. We converted him to CB, but To be honest, long term, maybe short term we could do with him here, but long term we definitely won't need him because we've got back into Kandu, who's back from his loan spell. Okay, granted he's 9 ratings lower, but can still get a little better. Ronnie Hahn, as we know, is the wonder kid at Bramwell Lane right now. We know that DJ is the main man in our back line too. And obviously think Garafo we can fill in there as well, and Eric Martel has been playing there too. So I'm actually going to say to Atalanta, if you give us 9 mil for Leonard Maloney, that's 3 mil over the valuation, we will take it. We're not going to need him long term. And I don't mind that, because don't forget we've got Bright Arian B, who had a great end of season last year as well. So 9 mil, and Atalanta say, yeah, I don't mind that. Only the 1 year here, one and done for Leonard, but with our small budget, I'll take that money. That's a decent sale, that. And there we go. Leonard Maloney goes to Atalanta for £9 million. That's a really good bit of business there. Bought him in on the cheap from relegated Heidenheim side. Changed his position to improve his market valuation. And then sold him for a tidy profit 12 months later. I don't mind that sale at all. And to be fair, I've got a player in mind to replace him as well that I think would be just as good, if not even better, at DM. So there's a couple of players on the shortlist right now, or a few players really. You've got Vitaly Janel at FC Nantes, who will be a brilliant pickup here, but I'm not sure whether I should spend practically all of our remaining budget on one player. Tough one, because I'd really like him, but I'm not too sure. Undaye Ishime at Hoffenheim has the same problem, really. Again, just like Vitaly Janel, could possibly play him as a ball-playing defender like Leonard Maloney, or just keep him as a natural DM. But to be fair, if we're looking at good value for money deals this season, this guy, to me, I don't know anything about him, but I must say, I really do like the look of him. Medium high work rates, 5'11", physically great, all across the board, really well balanced, with 84 stamina and 85 aggression. As a ball-winning midfielder, with those defensive stats too, I think this guy will be a really good player to bring in for undervaluation with his deal that come at the end of the year. On a really low weekly wage, I'm bringing him in. Yeah, I'll be totally honest here. I know absolutely nothing about him. So if I've got any Serie A watchers, any Italian football watchers, or any Ghanaian fans, do let me know what he's like. They want Hussein Basic. We could offer them Christensen, who is out of contract coming at the end of the season if they do want a CM. And that would take the valuation down a bit. Why don't we give them Christensen plus 3.5 mil? That takes, actually, no, maybe we need 4.25. I'm trying to get this kind of like similar to around 6.5 to 6.75 mil. Christensen plus 4.25 mil. Yeah, they say yeah. They want Christensen, they'll take it. Little switchy. And we'll take in a really decent young Ghanaian talent. Know nothing about him, but he looks really good. Yep, I'll be 100% completely honest and transparent. I know nothing about this guy whatsoever, but I really like his stats. He looks like a very good, committed young midfielder. And at 22 years old, coming in on a relatively cheap contract for a relatively cheap transfer fee, this might prove to be one of the biggest bargains of the save. Welcome to the Ryan Energy Stadion, Ibrahim Suleiman. No caps for Ghana, but I'm sure it won't be long before he gets some, because this looks like a serious talent. To me, I think he could possibly... Don't say it. Don't say it, Doxy boy. But what he could do is possibly play wing back, to be fair. I mean, he's got some decent stats when going forward. The crossing is low, but other than that, he's got a little bit of pace and great energy as well. But I think his best role would be where he is right now. Ball-winning midfielder. He's got the aggression, he's got the stamina, he's got the defensive stats and the balance as well. We'll leave him on balance for development. I like the look of this kid, man. He looks really solid. So now the squad is starting to get filled out a little bit, which is nice to see. Obviously, don't forget we're going to lose, where are they? Laporte and Schmidt on loans at some point. What else are we going to do? Oh, I'll tell you what, I might give Damien Downs a new contract. 21, yeah, I'm going to do that now. 21 years old, 6'4". I don't know what this kid's ceiling is, and we do have better options as well long term, such as Tim, such as Schaefer, such as Justin. But I think for this season, I think he should probably just get an extra 1 year. He's only on 1.8 grand a week. He probably won't ask for much more. So I think young, dual national, German and American as well. Just give him an extra 1 year and see how he gets on this season. He'll get some game time playing in Europe too, and see if he's worth keeping for the long term. We've just got a bid for Minor, Frankfurt. Frankfurt have put like 3 bids in for my players this year, which I'll obviously turn down. And Laporte is wanted by the Turkish side, Demirspor, so we'll agree a 2 year, or try and agree a 2 year loan deal with them. That might do it for signings now. Four new players coming in, but I'm liking how the team is currently looking. A bid for Balde, who came in last season. Sassuolo wanted for 4.8 mil. Again, could try and make a profit, but no reason to as of yet. And Joran Schmidt is wanted by KRC Genk. I think he'll start there as well, to be fair. So we'll put him on a 2-year loan deal too. And Heidenheim wants Schmidt as well. Wouldn't mind that at all. We can see if he starts there with the newly promoted side, and hopefully he'll get the game time wherever he goes. I wish that I wish that when clubs negotiate a loan with you, they would also negotiate squad role, minutes, player pathway, because it's one of the things that really frustrates me about loans. It's like, it doesn't really matter whether a player plays or not, but it should factor into a player's development. It doesn't need to be quite as in-depth as FM. I totally get that. Don't have to look at a club's training facilities or youth facilities or the coaching stuff, whatever, but just tell me, are you going to play the player or not? Because it's like, I've got 2 loan deals here, one from Heidenheim, one from KRC Genk. It would be really nice if the clubs wouldn't just put in the amount of time they'll spend with the club and how much they'll contribute on the wages, because those are the only 2 things you can negotiate. And if you want, the optional of whether you're going to sell the player to the club permanently at the expiry of the loan. But it would be so cool if they'd say, oh, by the way, he's going to be a backup for us, or he'll be a cup goalkeeper, or he'll play in Europe, or if he'll be a starter. That would be so helpful for finding out whether you should loan that player to that club or not, if you want them to get the game time, Because right now, we don't know. I mean, these 2 players could go to these clubs and get no minutes whatsoever, or they could start every game. There's no way of knowing. Well, the players have made their minds up anyway, so we'll keep an eye on them both going out on loan. Schmidt, in the end, did choose to go to Belgium and play for KRC Genk. And Laporte has, of course, gone to Turkey to join Adana Demirspor. So our budget right now, just over 19 mil. Wage budget alteration, you're probably looking at around 17.5 mil. I think we might just jump into the first game, and the only game today, which is against RB Leipzig. Obviously, won the domestic double 2 years ago. It was a big Wow, okay, 12. Wow, all right, everyone just calm down. Bissek, who I do plan to bring back at some point, is wanted by Celta Vigo. Interestingly enough, the side who last year won the Europa League into Milan, 27.2 mil. And also, Sociedad putting a bid for Elias Jaller. He had a solid year last year, scored a goal on the final day of the season. We could make a tidy profit on the Danish youngster. And to be fair, Sociedad are a Champions League side. They finished 4th last year in La Liga, so a chance to take the next step up in Elias Jaller's career. I'm going to negotiate here with the Basque side, and I'm not going to sell him for anything under, I'd say, 16 million, because he's getting better and better. He grew 4 ratings last year. I'm going to hardball the Basque side here and say, listen, if you want him, he's got 4 years left on his deal, so you have to pay through your nose for him. And that is not quite through your nose. That's an insult, mate. Come on. Seriously. Let's go 19.5 mil. No, they are really not wanting to spend much more than over the market valuation. But in the end, they do. I said 17 mil. In the end, it's 17.5. It was still a tidy profit, to be fair. We've got Balde waiting in the wings. I'll take that. Yeah, I don't mind that sale. I'm pretty sure we signed him for about 5 mil. So to turn it into a 17.5 mil sale in 12 months' time, I don't mind that at all. Elias goes to Real Sociedad, and whilst he's a really decent young fullback, Tierno's waiting in the wings, and I'm sure with that money plus the season ticket money getting allocated as well, we should be able to find a replacement if we don't want to start Tierno for the new season. Our budget now rises to 36 million, and just before the opening game of the season, we've just had a big bid for Eric Martel from Chelsea. Oh man, we will get a monster amount of money for him. Can I really turn that down? I don't think so. I'm going to say, Eric, just play the opening day. And I think I'll let you go after that. Yeah, Chelsea finished 6th last year, so they've got European football. They can offer him mega money on those 8-year contracts. And obviously, he owes us nothing. He's not an academy grad. And when a big club like that comes calling, able to offer, let's be honest here, life-changing money, going to be hard to stand in that player's way, isn't it? Anyway, we'll play the first game of the season and end on this. Leipzig, who pipped us to Champions League qualification last year away at the Red Bull Arena. If we want to be in the top 4 for this season heading into next year's CL, these are the games we'll need to win. Come on. I guess the only silver lining to that cloud of Eric Martel playing his final game for the club, because let's be honest here, we're definitely going to sell him for, again, around 50 mils. It'll be a monster club record fee received. £50 million. What a ridiculous cash injection that'll be. And it'll be kind of like, you know, when Lukaku left Everton, when Bale left Spurs. Nobody wants to see the star player go. But for the money we'll get, we can assemble a whole new core here. Do you know what I mean? A whole new group of players to come in and replace him. Annoyingly, though, the player I was going to replace him with would have been Bissek. Bring him back, you know. Since Inter are prepared to sell him, why not sell him to us? Well, unfortunately, he's just gone to Celta Vigo. I can't believe it. It's the third time in the window I've missed out on one of my targets, honestly. So annoying. As to the challenge, though, so I don't mind one bit. Anyway, nice build up here. Here's Gianno Balde. Oh, I took the shot way too early. Adrenaline completely got the better of me there. Could have ran through for an easier finish. Just completely spurned that chance. Yeah, we'll have him, mate. And, oh, no. Oh, it's going to be 1-0. Yes, it is indeed. Leipzig win it late. Bottom corner. Sometimes you can just tell when a goal's about to be scored. I just felt it. Last year, FC Köln had the best defensive record in the Bundesliga, so it's no surprise the big clubs will come calling for their backline in the summer transfer window. Jalur has already jumped ship to go and play Champions League football at Real Sociedad, and now the big sale is about to go through as Docks prepares to meet Todd Boehly with Eric Martel surely about to be sold for Chelsea for a monster club record transfer fee. It'll raise our budget tremendously and surely give us over 70 million to work with, but after starting off with a 1-0 loss already to Leipzig, we'll need to sign the right replacements in order to be competitive this year in our pursuit of Champions League football. But that'll do it for today's episode, guys, so massive thank you for watching. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then please do drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and don't miss the next episode. It's going to be great, man. I'll see you for it. We'll return with a conclusion to the Martel saga. Will he go to London or will he stay here in Köln? We'll have the draw for the Europa League group stage and transfer deadline day as well, where we may have around £80 million to reinvest on the conclusion of the Martel sale if it goes through. Have a fantastic day, guys. Much love, and I'll see you for the next episode, which you will not want to miss. Transfer special and a draw for the Europa League group stage as well very soon.